Hello everyone. I found this machine on Facebook Marketplace where I happened to find a lot of good things. And it was just too good to pass up. It was a great opportunity. It was free, if I am being completely honest with you. Somebody was giving this away. I guess they didn't have time to price it and negotiate and figure all that out. So it was like a first come, first serve sort of deal. It's a very, very neglected machine. I've already started cleaning it up. I've already taken off the tension assembly and cleaned that up. I've already done this section pretty much. And when I tell you it was filthy, I mean it was absolutely filthy. I opened up the throat plate and it looked like it was full of cotton batting. That's how bad it was. It's almost like this machine was being used very, very often, and suddenly somebody just put it away in storage. I am very grateful to have gotten the opportunity to work on this machine. It gives me something new to do. It gives me something to film and share and kind of walk through the process as I learn another new machine. So, with that being said, this is my newest machine in my collection. It's a Brother Exedra. The model number is DB2B737903. This machine was made in Japan, I believe, in the maybe late 70s, mid to early, maybe late 80s. I really couldn't find much on this particular style of machine. The Exedra, they come in like Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. This one doesn't have any of those subcategories. It's just the plain Exedra. So I really had a hard time finding anything about this shape, this style, because the Exedra usually has a computer panel up here. And this one does have a little computer panel, but it's down there. And to be honest, it looks like an afterthought. I don't think this little box is original to this table. So, I don't know. The manual makes mention of the computer system, but I have to take this apart and see what's going on there. So, from my understanding, this machine features an automatic thread cutter, an automatic presser foot lifter, and it even has like programmable stitches. You could do back tacks. Really very interesting. I've never seen anything like this. The underneath of the machine is quite hefty. It's a very heavy machine and it boasts a very large motor. I don't know the exact specifications of the motor because I've only been working on the head of the machine. I haven't even gone under there. I'm gonna need some help with the electronics, which my husband is going to help me with that. So all good, all good. It's exciting. I'm excited. As I work on this machine, I will be sure to explain more about it because I really could not find any information about this machine on YouTube, which tends to be the case when I happen to get a machine. It's usually a machine that is not common, which is fine. I'm not complaining. It just means I have a lot to learn on my own, and I'm very hands-on. I don't mind having to learn things on my own. I just take it very slowly, very step by step. I've never worked with an industrial machine. This is a brand new experience for me. I've worked with the head, but never the motor. I haven't seen that before. Now, just because I got this machine for free doesn't mean that it doesn't come without a cost, because there are a lot of pieces missing, and there are some broken pieces that I have to replace. Like this thread tension dial doesn't stop. It just keeps twirling until it comes right off. So I need a new tension assembly, and I also want to replace the stitch length gauge because I want them to match, and I don't know if I'm going to do aftermarket or if I'm going to do a Brother original. I will link down in the description bar the website I've been using to actually source the parts. I was able to find the parts book for this machine online for free in a PDF form, which means I can pretty much see exactly how everything is installed, the part numbers, where everything goes, what they're called. It's extremely, extremely helpful. And I will be sure to link the website down below where I am purchasing these parts from. I haven't placed an order yet. I cannot speak to their, I don't know, their prowess, their abilities. But I will say they have a lot of options of parts. parts I thought were so obscure, down to screws that I'm missing, down to parts that I didn't even think were replaceable. They have it. Let me know if you know of this machine. It is a Brother. It's a great brand, of course, and it was made in Japan. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's a Japanese machine. Can't go wrong with that. All right, so this is the underneath of the Industrial Brother machine, and I've taken apart some things because I need to see if everything is wired correctly. I also need to dust everything off before I plug it in for the first time. Now, I was able to find the manual and the parts book for not only the machine up top, but also for this motor, which is an MDS 404, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what's printed on the motor. Now, the actual plug outlet comes up the thread spool stand. It looks like this machine was plugged into the ceiling at one point. Now, what I noticed when I took off this box here, which is the actual on-off switch for the entire motor rig, as you can see, I noticed there was an aftermarket opening right there, and this plug comes out with, you know, a female receptacle outlet thing. And I did some research through the manual and the parts book, and I determined that that's not supposed to be there. So given the fact that the plug outlet is coming out the top, so if here's the spool thing and then my finger is where the spools sit, the cord to plug in the machine comes out the top and connects to the ceiling. Because of that, and because of limited plugs in a factory, I would imagine wherever this machine was, they decided to daisy chain the machines next to one another, and I believe that's why they added this aftermarket piece. So I need to remove that first and foremost. That is what I discovered. I am missing the knee lifter assembly, which is supposed to be here. It's a little pad right there, and you push it to the side to lift the presser foot of the machine without actually having to use your hands. This machine is missing that. So I ordered the part, and I was paying attention to the plug outlets here. So let's zoom in on that. So here we have all of our plug outlets. This is for the actual source of power as it's labeled. Here we have, what do we have there? The brake. Behind that we have the clutch. Here is the speed control, which is really nice. You can control the speed that the machine sews, stitches per minute. This right here is the option tab. The option tab allows you to connect the knee lifter. Then we have the synchronizer, which of course synchronizes the whole machine. And then we have the panel control thing, which this is the panel. So this is like a computer for the motor. You can program some stitches here. So those are all of the ports that we have over here. And then all the way at the end, looks like we have the sewing machine itself. That's all it's labeled as. This is the piece that connects to the option space that I have removed the clip from. And this is because it needs to connect to the knee lifter when that finally comes in. However, I need to splice the wire here. If you can see, there are some little, where are we? You can see there are some wires in there, the white and the black. It's too short and it's too tight when, the cord is too taut when I plug it in. So I need to splice those wires and extend that just a little bit. I find that it just doesn't make me very comfortable to see it so taut. Okay, so coming back to the underside of the machine, I am good with the head of the machine. I can, work my way around that. But when it comes to electricity, I really get kind of nervous because I don't understand it. I lack the understanding of how this all works and what it should look like. So I'm having a hard time diagnosing any issues other than the daisy chain thing that I figured out. The table's also missing a lamp assembly, which is, okay, let's talk about the lamp. The motor says that it accepts a lamp, but the manual, I can't find anything about installing a lamp because I have a 110 volt plug. I don't have a 220. So because of that, the manual doesn't specify a light connection, and I'm nervous to do it. So I'm just gonna buy a separate like plug and play type of model where you just plug into the wall with an outlet and call it a day on that. Up here is the oil pan, by the way. If you're wondering what that is, that's the oil pan. It's extremely filthy. I'm not even going to show what it looks like because it's honestly crazy how bad it looks. It's supposed to be clear liquid. It's actually red and a little bit rusty looking, and it's full of debris from years of sewing. So this machine has seen a lot. But that's where I'm at for right now. I've done a really nice job of cleaning up top. I guess we can take a look at the head of the machine and kind of see what we've got going on. I guess we can do a little tour. That would be kind of fun. Okay. Now there are a lot of electronics to this machine, if we can see here. I need to also fix that wire that's exposed. We're gonna heat shrink over that and make sure it's all connected. But these are where all the computer components go to. This is the synchronizer. This helps the machine stay in sync. And this box is the thread cutter and presser foot lifter, which is connected to the machine. So it cuts the thread for you. I think that's really neat. This is also a reverse switch. I found that this is pretty standard on these Brother machines. You just press that. You also have the presser bar for reverse, but this is just kind of handy if you're working up close and personal. I need to replace this tension dial because it just rolls on and off. And I also need to replace this guy because I want a matching pair because I'm insane. Alrighty, a lot has happened, and we're gonna kind of walk through real quick what we've done. So if you remember in the last part, we had to make a few adjustments to the on-off switch and also to the computer panel for the motor. So we moved the on-off box over here where it belongs. It was over here, but we moved it just for convenience sake. We also put the computer box over here and we cleaned that up. We made sure it was nice and solid. We also went ahead and patched this wire here. We patched that up nice and good. And we went down here and we extended that wire that I had mentioned right here. I also took apart the motor and removed so much nonsense that was in there. Made sure everything was nice and clean. Tidied up on the table. And I'm gonna show you guys the oil pan because it was a disaster and I cleaned it. So let's get this open. It's really heavy. But there she is, nice and clean. I still have to do a few more passes, but it's acceptable. I just have to fill it with oil and we're ready to plug it in tomorrow. Everything is really nice and clean and very, very nice. It's all in good shape. So I just have to get a few parts so it can sew, because right now it can't sew. It's missing some vital pieces of sewing material, sewing components, but we can at least turn it on and see how it goes. So that's it. That's what we've been up to. All right, so we're up and running. I got a few things off of Amazon, like this presser foot, some needles, some bobbins, and I threaded this machine and did some practice stitches, and I'm very pleased to report that it does stitch very nicely, I might add. And here with me now, I've got a little sample fabric. I've got some brown thread. I've got some white thread coming out of the bobbin. And I will just do a quick stitch demonstration. So I'm gonna lift up the presser foot, line it up to, let's say, the 1/4 inch mark. Just the edge, why not? Drop the foot down. Let's take a few stitches forward, a few back, and let's stitch. So you can speed it up a little bit just to get the line out of the way. And then back tack. You can see the needle stops in the fabric because it knows that we're sewing. But when I lift the presser foot a little bit, let's say I wanted to do a turn, it doesn't do anything. But if I bring the presser foot treadle thing all the way back, watch what it does. See what it did? It took the needle out. So obviously I have to lift the presser foot to get the work out. But here it is. Sorry, it's not where it needs to be yet, so let's not focus on that. So here is the reverse. Actually, let me recalibrate. Hold on. All right, so I'm actually gonna lower the stitch length just because I want a tighter stitch. And we're gonna just stitch a line next to it. Why not? And done. Look at these stitches, you guys. Look at those stitches. Beautiful stitches. Really, truly gorgeous stitches. And on the reverse side, just as nice. You can see the different stitch lengths. The first one was about a 3. This one is about a 1. The one on the right side. Very, very nice stitching. I'd say that's a win. That's a job well done, if you ask me. Well, I think that's it.